Start by setting up our 3-axis. Right. And then we're going to measure the distance of what, gents? What's the total width here? Two, 52. Right. The total is 52. All right. So we're going to go to A, and we're going to measure 52. And we're going to then draw a line straight up. Right. Then we're going to go onto our vertical axis, and we're going to measure 52 again. Remember, it's isometric, so scales 1:1 on all three faces. There is no perspective required, so then I'm going to take that point, and I'm going to draw a line straight across, and you can see we've got the front view, if you like, or it could be the right side view of the object. So it's 52. Okay, so I'm going to take those points over there and I'm going to send them back. You'll see we're working with the orientation of the object given to you in the bottom left, because that's what we're trying to mimic. They're giving you a little memo solution at the bottom there. Okay, and we know that that total distance back, the depth is going to be a total of 80. So I'm going to measure back a total of 80 millimeters from A. 80 over there. Good. From that point, so from that point there to that point there is 80. Right. Line straight up to meet the top of that face. And then we're going to move it across to intersect on the other side. That's what we need.
So it's 52 and then
80. 80 is the depth, guys. Come, gents, you shouldn't have to be asking me questions about measurements. There are only two, and you should have figured out the orientation of this already. If you, gentlemen, please, everyone just take a moment and have a look. Just have a look at the board. Just wait, have a look at the board here. Where is A situated? It's on the left-hand side, am I correct? Yes? If we have a look at we'll call this the front view. Let's call this the front view. A is on the left, am I correct, gentlemen? Okay, so now, have a look here. If that's going to be my front view, as it is in the solution below, A is going to be to the left. Yes. In order to create it's the same solution here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants here. But at the back, how many quadrants do you think we're going to have to work with in order to establish that that part of the cylinder?
8.
So we're going to at least have to do one there, correct? Because we're going to have to arc in that quadrant. Is there a bit of the circle in this quadrant here? So we're going to have to work in that quadrant. And then below this, there's some more, correct? Okay, if we're talking about the circular base. So we're going to need at least 3 quadrants to work with. Or we'll set up another box. Okay, so at the back then, what we're going to do is, in order to set up the framework to complete that, we're going to set up another box at the back in construction. Okay. Go and establish a pair of axes. So we're going to go half of 52 is what? 26. So I'm going to go 26 from A along the bottom, which is there, right? And I'm going to go 26 high along the, what we would call the height axis or x-axis. So there's 26 over there. Okay? And what I'm going to do then is just draw in very lightly a set of axes to break that face into 4 quadrants, right? I'm then going to project those 4 quadrants across to the back. In other words, I use what? My 30, 60. So I'll just have to do that there and project that across as well to the side. And there I have, I've pulled those points of as points of reference for auxiliary construction at the back. Yes, because where do we have a circle just in the front? No, we have a circle at the back as well. Okay. The geometry, we have two circles, one incomplete with two parallel and tangential lines. And you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, we talk about geometry in its raw form here. I'm going to use yellow to distinguish, because there's obviously a lot of lines here, and it's the first time you practically applying this this construction setup. So does this help, Ewan, in terms of seeing where those axes actually connect to? Okay, so we have a square at the front, square at the back. Okay, and we've created a set of axes on both those squares. As we continue, we're going to have one line through the acute. I'd like you to do the same. This is all construction at the back as well through the acute. Okay. And then we're going to have, as we did in our previous lesson, we're going to make use of these V's. Okay, they give us the arc angle, if you like, from axis point to axis point for the bigger arcs, the obtuse angles within that quadrant. So let's go, and then what we'll do is just add that little construction auxiliary there. So from there to there, excuse me, right, from there to there, there to there. Now you don't have to do a V from the bottom. You don't have to do that angle from the bottom, because we've got the two intersecting points in the obtuse angle, and we've got the 2 points in which to arc from in the obtuse angles, and the 2 arcing points or reference points in the acute angles. All right. To create the circle using those 4 quadrants, right? So I'm going to use the obtuse quadrants. I'm going to start with my compass on that point, right? And I'm going to arc from that point to that point there. Okay, it's a little bit outside here, but that's okay. I'm going to go to the opposite corner. Yeah, this is all dark. Opposite corner, and I'm going to make sure that I meet with axis and axis. There and there. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and do the small acute quadrants. And for these ones, for these quadrants, I'm going to put my compass point on those 2 intersecting auxiliary lines or construction lines. And then I'm going to, again, all I'm doing is joining quadrant to quadrant with the intersecting axis points over there to there. Slightly off, but it's okay. Okay, came off a little bit there. It's all right. If you're not perfect, it's not a big train smash. Okay.
Zou je the other one, the big one, the obtuse one, on the right side?
So when we have a look at the solution here, we know that in quadrant 1 over here, we're going to have a full arc, correct? Yeah? Yes or no? Yeah, we got a full arc there. If we go to quadrant 2, we've got a portion of it. And if we go to quadrant 3, we've got a portion of it. So we can go ahead and do quadrant 1 in dark, finished. You can do it in outline if you want to. These 2, you need to do it in construction. Okay, so in other words, I'm going to go ahead now and construct an arc from that point of the axis to that point of the axis there. Okay? Sorry? Yeah. It works if it doesn't.